Everyone talks about power like it's loud, like it's dominance, like it's winning arguments, flexing online, or reacting fast. That's not power. That's insecurity with volume. Real power is quiet. Power is being strong enough to not explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Power is being patient enough to let time expose what force never could. Power is being calm enough to think clearly while everyone else is emotionally bankrupt. Most people crumble not because life is hard, but because they panic. They rush decisions. They react instead of respond. They chase quick wins and burn long-term futures. Strength is not aggression. Strength is restraint. It's waking up when it's uncomfortable. It's doing boring, repetitive work when nobody's watching. It's saying no to short-term pleasure because you see the cost. Weak people need validation. Strong people need progress. Patience is misunderstood. People think patience means waiting around doing nothing. No, patience is active. It's building quietly while others show off. It's stacking skills while others chase applause. It's understanding that momentum doesn't show up on your schedule. It shows up when the foundation is ready. Most people quit because results didn't arrive fast enough. They don't realize they were one season away from leverage. Calm is a weapon. When you stay calm, you see opportunities others miss. When you stay calm, you don't overpay emotionally or financially. When you stay calm, you make decisions based on logic, not ego. Ego is expensive, emotion is expensive, reaction is expensive. Calm people get rich in outcomes while others get rich in excuses. Here's the truth nobody likes to hear. The calmest person in the room usually wins, because while everyone else is reacting, they're calculating. While others argue, they execute. While others panic, they prepare. While others burn bridges, they build systems. You don't need to announce your strength. You don't need to rush your timeline. You don't need to prove your worth. Be strong enough to endure the process. Be patient enough to let results compound. Be calm enough to think long-term. That combination is rare, and rarity is power. Not loud power, not flashy power, real power, the kind that lasts. Real power is quiet, not loud. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need witnesses, and it never begs for attention. Loud people talk to be seen. Powerful people move in silence because results speak louder than noise ever could. When you're truly in control, you don't rush to prove it. You don't explain yourself to people who aren't listening. You let time, consistency, and outcomes do the talking for you. Quiet power looks like discipline when nobody is watching. It's the ability to sit with discomfort without complaining. It's choosing progress over applause and restraint over reaction. The loudest person in the room is usually trying to convince everyone, including themselves, that they matter. The quiet one already knows their value and doesn't need external confirmation. Real power is measured by control, not chaos. Control over your emotions when someone tries to provoke you. Control over your time when distractions are everywhere. Control over your decisions when shortcuts are tempting. Anyone can be loud. Anyone can react. Very few people can stay composed under pressure, and that composure is strength. When you move quietly, you think clearly. You see patterns others miss because they're too busy making noise. You don't waste energy arguing, flexing, or performing. You conserve it, focus it, and deploy it strategically. That's why quiet people often build the biggest outcomes. They're not distracted by the need to be seen, only by the need to be effective. Loud power fades fast. Quiet power compounds. Patience creates leverage because it allows you to operate on a longer timeline than everyone else. While most people are desperate for immediate results, patient people are stacking advantages quietly. They're willing to wait, learn, and refine while others rush, panic, and make emotional decisions that cost them years. The ability to delay gratification isn't weakness, it's a strategic edge. Patience gives you room to see clearly. When you're not in a hurry, you notice timing, patterns, and opportunities that impatient people miss. You don't force outcomes, you position yourself so outcomes are inevitable. That's leverage. Being in the right place, with the right skills, at the right time, while everyone else burned out too early. Most people quit right before momentum shows up. They underestimate how long things take and overestimate how fast success should arrive. Patient people understand that real progress is slow at first and fast later. They endure the quiet phase, the boring phase, the phase where nothing seems to be working, and that's exactly where leverage is built. Patience also protects you from bad decisions. It keeps you from chasing shortcuts, jumping into the wrong partnerships, or overcommitting to the wrong paths. When you're patient, you don't need to grab every opportunity because you trust your process. That confidence attracts better opportunities over time. The world rewards speed in talk, but patience in execution. Those who can wait, prepare, and stay consistent end up with options, influence, and control, and that is real leverage. Calm thinking beats emotional reactions because emotions narrow your vision while calm expands it. When emotions spike, logic drops. You rush, you assume, you overcorrect. Most bad decisions aren't made from lack of intelligence. They're made in emotional moments where clarity disappears. Calm gives you access to your full thinking capacity, and that alone puts you ahead of most people. Emotional reactions feel powerful in the moment, but they're costly long-term. They create unnecessary conflict, burn bridges, and lock you into decisions you wouldn't choose with a clear mind. Calm thinking, on the other hand, buys you time to assess, time to ask better questions, time to choose the move that serves your future instead of your ego. When you stay calm, you separate what matters from what's just noise. You don't take bait. You don't get dragged into arguments that drain energy but build nothing. You respond with intention, not impulse. That restraint frustrates reactive people because they can't control you through emotion. Calm also sharpens strategy. Under pressure, calm thinkers see options while emotional people see threats. They adapt instead of panicking. They adjust instead of quitting. In high-stakes moments, the person who can slow their breathing, steady their thoughts, and remain composed is the one making the smartest moves. Anyone can react. Very few can remain calm when it counts. And in moments that define outcomes, calm always wins. Strength is built in discomfort, not motivation, because motivation is unreliable and discomfort is inevitable. Motivation shows up when things feel good, when progress is visible, when energy is high. Discomfort shows up every day when you're tired, uncertain, bored, or doubting yourself. The people who grow are the ones who don't wait to feel ready. They move anyway. Discomfort is where your limits are. Exposed. It's where excuses lose their power and discipline takes over. Every time you do the hard thing you didn't feel like doing, you reinforce a new identity. You prove to yourself that emotions don't control your actions. That proof compounds into confidence, and confidence becomes strength. Most people avoid discomfort because it feels like failure or punishment. In reality, it's training. The strain, the resistance, the repetition, that's what builds capacity. Just like muscle grows under tension, mental and emotional strength grows when you stay in the work despite discomfort. Motivation might get you started, but only discomfort keeps you consistent. Discomfort teaches patience, resilience, and focus. It forces you to simplify, to prioritize, to stop relying on hype and start relying on habits. Over time, what once felt heavy becomes manageable. What once felt impossible becomes routine. That's not motivation, that's adaptation. If you want real strength, stop chasing motivation. Chase the version of yourself that can endure discomfort without quitting. That's where power is forged. Waiting is not weakness when you're preparing, because there's a difference between standing still and getting ready. Weakness is procrastination disguised as patience. Preparation is intentional, disciplined, and quietly productive. While it may look like nothing is happening on the outside, everything is being built on the inside. Preparation is sharpening skills, strengthening habits, and tightening systems. It's learning what others ignore, practicing what others avoid, and fixing what others rush past. The world celebrates fast movers, but it rewards those who move at the right time. Timing beats speed when the foundation is solid. Impatient people confuse action with progress. They jump early, burn energy, and expose gaps they never took time to close. Prepared people wait, not out of fear, but out of respect for the process. They understand that showing up too early is just as costly as showing up too late. Waiting also builds emotional control. It teaches restraint, discipline, and trust in your own long-term vision. You stop reacting to pressure and start acting from clarity. When the moment arrives, you don't hesitate. You execute because the work has already been done. When preparation meets opportunity, it looks like luck. In reality, it's earned. And that's why waiting, when used wisely, becomes strength, not weakness. The calmest person in the room controls the outcome because chaos clouds judgment and calm cuts through it. When emotions run high, people reveal their fears, insecurities, and intentions without realizing it. The calm person notices all of it. They listen more than they speak. They observe while others expose themselves through overreaction. Calm creates psychological leverage. When you don't match someone else's intensity, you unsettle them. They expect resistance, anger, or panic. And when they don't get it, they lose control of the situation. While others are trying to dominate emotionally, The calm person is deciding strategically, in tense moments, decisions to find direction. The person who can slow down their breathing, steady their tone, and remain composed has access to logic when others don't. They ask better questions. They choose better timing. They avoid irreversible mistakes made in emotional spikes. That clarity shifts power in their favor. Calm also commands respect without force. People trust those who don't crumble under pressure. Leaders are rarely the loudest. They're the most grounded. When everyone else is reacting, the calm person becomes the reference point, the one others look to for direction. Control doesn't come from volume or aggression. It comes from self-mastery. And in any room, self-mastery decides who shapes the outcome. So understand this clearly. Strength, patience, and calm are not soft traits. They are the hardest to build and the rarest to maintain. Anyone can react. Anyone can rush. Anyone can make noise. Very few can stay disciplined when it's uncomfortable, patient when results are delayed, and calm when pressure is high. Real power is quiet because it doesn't need approval. It waits, prepares, and moves with intention. It chooses long-term control over short-term validation. While others burn energy proving themselves, powerful people conserve it and apply it where it counts. If you can endure discomfort without quitting, wait without beating, and remain calm without losing focus, you separate yourself from the majority. You stop being controlled by circumstances and start shaping them. Be strong when it's hard. Be patient when it's slow. Be calm when it's chaotic. That combination doesn't just change outcomes, it puts you in control of them.